Hello, my friends. Welcome. Let me see if I can get this a little bit better here. Maybe not. This might be as good as we get. But welcome. Wow. Happy full moon, partial solar eclipse. It is wonderful to be able to speak to you today on this day because this is a monumental occasion. In case you haven't been feeling it, I'm going to let you know that it is really the beginning of our brand new lives once again, but this time fortifying even more. So if you have been feeling kind of expansive, if you've been feeling like, okay, you know what? I don't know exactly what's coming, but I'm ready. This is probably why. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. Tammy, welcome, sister. Beautiful to see you. A couple of you are just popping in. I can tell. I can see you coming in on the screen. And I'm delighted to be here. I didn't actually realize how excited I was to talk about what we're going to talk about today until I actually started putting my notes together. So I'm thrilled to be here. And I'm thrilled to be talking about this because the themes that are coming up right now are really exciting and really empowering, I would say. So let's just dive into it. First, I'll just say very briefly that there was a small window on the weekend that if you by any chance had an extra lovely time in your relationships or just in general, you may have also noticed that the sun is a little different, that the sun feels a little milder, a little bit gentler. It was the sun, and it's literally the energy overall. It's a little gentler, it's a little softer, and it feels more nourishing as opposed to that really scorching heat that we've been going through for a lot of, at least those of us in my area, in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm up here in Muskoka right now, but soon to be moving. We've been having a lot of heat, like intense heat. So this has been refreshing, and it's really kind of an indication of where we've been and where we're going. So this particular eclipse, I'm going to put these on. You'll find out why as we go through. I'm going to put on my my blue blockers. This is part of the theme, actually. Okay, this will make more sense as we go through. All right, here we are. Give my eyes some love. So, okay. Sorry, having a few computer issues, so bear with me. If you see me looking off the screen, I'm turning off warning signs. Okay, but this eclipse is bringing with it total life-changing trajectories. So I would love to know in the comments, now or after this live stream, what are you noticing? Specifics. Let's play with some specifics because I find those are the most fun. So I'd love to know, what are you noticing in the way of total life-changing trajectories? Transforming the familiar. That is really a major theme that we're noticing right now, and I'm feeling very strongly. So let's see. Actually, we'll start a little bit with something else just before we jump into that. But this is the theme, transforming the familiar. Okay, first of all, this eclipse is in Pisces. Okay, I'm not an astrologer. As I've told you before, I'm not a numerologist, but I do follow astrology, very much into that, and a numerology as well, and really just like to help connect the dots between those and our spiritual journey and our evolutionary journey and our purpose and how we navigate life. So I'm hoping that some of these things are going to help you do exactly that. So this moon, this eclipse is in Pisces. So it took place on the 17th. Which was just yesterday, but depending where you are, it was 17th or 18th. But the reality is, it is bridging a much, much bigger period than that. In fact, it really, the influence that we feel from this kind of an eclipse is really a 6-month journey, but we've been feeling it already for weeks. So it's already been here. If you weren't aware of it yesterday, it doesn't matter. I was on a client call this morning. She's like, what do I need to know? When did it happen? Yesterday? Did I miss something? You didn't miss anything. Don't worry. I'm going to bring you up to speed on the most important things that you do want to know, just to be aware of. But it took place yesterday. It doesn't matter. You didn't miss anything. It's really what you can expect. It's helping you look back and understand why things have happened the way they have, and also what you're feeling now and how to better navigate what you're moving forward into. Okay, so what does it matter that it's in Pisces? So Pisces dissolves things. It's about melting things away. This full moon, now it's actually a supermoon, but a full moon in Pisces means that it's going to shine the light on what you need to further dissolve, what you need to further let go of. Now, I know for some of us, this involves like maybe ways of being, patterns that you've noticed coming up for yourself, or it could be major stuff like literally life where you're living, like what's also happening with us. So we're literally, in my world, we are literally in the process of packing and drastically reducing what we're taking with us into this next chapter of our lives. Like never before. Like literally imagine we have a culmination of things that we have been living with. And I love regularly purging, but we're talking decades of living, right? My partner and myself. And we have been purging all along that we've been in this particular home now for 4.5 years. But we are going from a lovely home, it's about 2,300 square feet with a double garage, for at least the next 6 months, into a space that is beautiful and new. Could be whatever we want it to be, but no garage and 1,500 square feet. On a bigger land, it's on an acre of land. It's right by water, but smaller space. So this is creating this huge pressure cooker, which if you're like us and if you're really aligning with this energy, it's feeling kind of liberating. It's feeling kind of exciting, like the thought of having less weight. And so Pluto, which we've talked a little bit about, this being is all about endings. And it's been having an influence on our experience for several months now. And so this is all part of it. So it's like bringing an end to a lot of things in our lives, right? And it's about purging. So you couldn't be more literal in terms of the influence that these planetary aspects are having on our experience. Now that's my experience. What is your experience? What are you noticing? Hold on here. I just want to, hey, Tammy, I feel so ready to move somewhere else and I'm getting rid of stuff. Oh my God, Tammy, that's amazing. So what you've probably found, let me know if this resonates, but pre-paving is the term I like to give it. That's when you're getting ready to get ready for something that hasn't happened yet. When in the process of getting ready for it, you are doing what? Opening the door and setting the stage for that thing to just drop in like that. So way to go, sister. That's beautiful. I really enjoy doing that too. And so I guess in essence, that's part of what's been happening for us in the background. So we've been getting rid of stuff, preparing for this move, not knowing when it's coming, where we would be going, and then suddenly it dropped in, just like that. Yeah, magic. Thanks for sharing, Tammy. Okay, so because it's a supermoon though, and because it's an eclipse, I mean, it couldn't be bigger. Literally can't be bigger. The amplification of this energy and these themes is magnified so much because it's a supermoon, meaning it's, you know what a supermoon, it literally is a moon that is bigger. It's bigger because it's closer to the planet. When any planets are closer together, they have a greater influence on each other. Just like human beings, when we are closer to each other, we can have a more dramatic impact on ourselves and each of our experience. Like if I want to punch something, let's say two people, one person wants to punch one in the face, you have a much better chance of having that abrupt influence if you're close, right? If you're in striking range. And it's the same thing for these planetary aspects. The closer they get, the more striking distance they are, the closer, the bigger the impact when they do connect. And so that's what's happening with this eclipse. So it's increasing its gravitational pull and the influence on us. And eclipses are pivot points. So these are points in our journey where we're making permanent changes, letting go of even more of what isn't in our highest good. So it's not to say that we will be, going back to my story, for example, it's not to say that we will permanently be living in this new space, because I don't see that as part of it at all. But we are permanently letting go of where we are now, right? So what are you noticing in your life? The eclipse is about making permanent changes. It's pivot points, right? So what are you noticing? I'd like to know. Share your story here. Hey, Joey. Welcome, brother. What does Joey have to say here? I have the urgent need to simplify and organize my life in a huge way. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Joey. This is the theme. So if you're feeling like you have this sense like you just want to purge, do it. Like we were saying with Tammy just a minute ago, that feeling of just like, I'm ready to let go of stuff, do it. This is a massive theme en masse, souls everywhere, because we are all getting ready at a soul level, whether we are aware of it or not, consciously in our human reality. We are all getting ready to move, change positions, get into our new position as we anchor in, and not just anchor, but begin to create our new earth lives, which starts in linear time in 2025 more concretely. So you don't have to know where you're going next. You don't need to know what size of house it will be, whether it'll be a condo, whether it'll be a cabin, whether it will be a motorhome or a tent. It doesn't matter. Just get ready by purging and doing whatever you need to do to feel like you're making progress. You don't have to have the end goal in mind. It's irrelevant. Like for us, it just dropped in. It just showed up and was like, oh my God, this is perfect. Same thing happens for all of us. But there is this mass movement at a soul level for us to let go of things because we are more mobile with less. And souls are a lot more interested in easy flowing, easy transition, being able to go from one thing to the next without so much baggage. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and with this eclipse, we are setting ourselves free. From what? From the outdated structures of the past and reconnecting to our spiritual heritage and to our spiritual truth. You resonate with that? We're birthing ourselves from a purified template now. Now, as I was going through and preparing these notes for today, as soon as I put that line in, what came through was, okay, purified, yes, but specifically, it's rarefied. No, it's rarefied. Okay, when I think of rarefied, I think of high altitudes, like the rarefied air. So I was like, what exactly does rarefied mean? So I looked it up. And it's very interesting what I was being given to share, why they chose the word rarefied. So Oxford Dictionary, I've got to learn how to share my screen. Anyways, the Oxford Dictionary shows rarefied as, it says rarefied, adjective, of air, especially that at high altitudes, of lower pressure than usual, thin. And then the quotation is, every ounce carried counts triple when you're trudging uphill in rarefied air. Isn't that interesting? So what are we doing? We are trudging, kind of, right? As we go through this ascension process, we are trudging. We're on a journey, right? Kind of feels like we're going uphill right now, right? In rarefied air, every ounce carried counts triple when you're going on that journey. And so it goes right back to what the soul's experience and desire is for us as the human counterparts, is to like lighten the load, lighten the load. So rarefied is referencing our experience, not just in the air around us, but in these lighter bodies, right? It says it's of lower pressure than usual, thinner. Lower pressure is less density. Less density is higher in frequency. So as we are moving into higher and higher expressions of ourselves, rising in frequency, whether we're aware of it or not, our lighter bodies are less dense, and they cannot carry the weight of our past. And they cannot carry the weight of our baggage or of our literal dense things, our belongings. So this is a really, really important piece to visualize so that you can take that with you. Say, well, I'm going into a rarefied experience. It's rarefied air, but I am that air. And literally you are. Air represents spirit. And as we continue on this path, we are embodying our spiritual nature. Remember, that connection to spirit is what this period is really emphasizing for us. Not just the connection, but the embodiment of our spiritual essence. All right. There are also 3 themes with this eclipse to do with the body, right? Detoxifying, strengthening, immunity, blood, lymph, gut health. So what are you noticing? Are you noticing any themes in that area right now? Okay, oddly enough, no surprise, my partner and I were suddenly inspired. Well, I was inspired to register for an online fitness challenge. I'm kind of feeling kind of fitnessy right now, wearing my optimized gear, right? Changes. But I've been feeling this call to fortify my body, strengthen my body. Not for anything in particular, just like wanting to be strong, right? Wanting to be fit, wanting to be ready. To be able to just move and do the things that my whole being is going to be inspired to do. My partner got right on that train with me. He's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm going to do it together. So we're doing it together. What are you doing? Are you feeling that in your body right now? Are you feeling that inspired wanting to improve, support your health? The other thing for me was I finally went to the eye doctor. Finally. So my eyes can have some love and support. Somewhere in my blue blockers, right? Very much called to do this. So notice where you're feeling those things. Don't ignore them. It's all in preparation for what you are going to be called into and have the opportunity to experience as you go into this next chapter, which next year is beginning now, right? So you're taking those steps, that preparation for yourself. Really important to follow that. But this supermoon is shining an extra bright light on these ideas and these areas where this kind of stuff is showing up for you. So it's showing, like I said, a growing need for connection to spirit, connection to source, finally committing to practices to do this. Are you feeling that? Are you feeling that somewhere? Let's see what Joey's sharing here. Yeah, definitely have the urge to be more fit and eat as clean as possible. Amazing. Amazing. It's all part of that refinement, right? Refinement, rarefication of us at our light body essence, which is our frequency, which we are what we eat, right? And with that in mind, please, there is nothing wrong with having meat, having animal products when you feel called, or denser things, cooked food. This is part of the journey. Part of the journey. We balance our frequency and our energy through the denser foods when required. And sometimes we need them to keep us grounded on this planetary journey. But in general, the theme is moving to lighter, purer, cleaner. Always cleaner. Always cleaner. It's just the density factor that we play with. Okay? Beautiful. I'm feeling this too. Just the other day, literally on the new moon, supermoon eclipse, it came in super strong. Revisit the idea. I don't know, some of you will remember when I used to host the Rising Avatar Collective, group avatar journey meditations. They were transformative. I did that for 2 years, from 2021 to 2023, I think. Amazing. We had a tiny little community, really powerful, gathered on a regular basis. I think it was weekly back then. And we were doing these group meditations. They were amazing. And so I had to stop that at that point to start something else, but it's come right back. It's come right back full circle, looking at that as a way to leverage the power of the group avatar, right? Connecting to spirit, going along with that theme, and creating heaven on earth while we do it in spiritual community. So a revival, which is another theme we're going to talk about that's coming in. Are you feeling this like resurgence of old things? So yeah, anyways, let me know if you were part of that. Were you part of the Rising Avatar Collective? Do you know what that is? Are you curious? I can't wait to see where that goes, because this is big. Feels really good too. It feels, along with the theme, it feels simple. It feels easy and aligned. Now, here's a tip for you. If you are looking for a way to get clear on what it is, this thing that you feel like you're being called into, you can ask. Just ask. Say, what is it that is going to give me a feeling of being lighter? Your own words. I'll just give you some examples. Feeling lighter, feeling more like I'm on path, but it's simple. It's easy. I'm not pushing. I'm not trying. What feels good? You can ask. And then be quiet, right? More moments of stillness, connecting to your spiritual essence, and see what comes through. We're actually going to get to do a lot more of this stuff together in the days ahead. And it's going to be a community, actually, that we're going to have. This part with the meditations will be open to everybody, like men and women. So it's not going to be closed to men, which is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, but ask. Like, you can ask those questions and then just be quiet and wait to see what you get. Okay. And Joey says, I'm feeling like I'm prepping for a future that's completely a mystery. Yes, that's it exactly. And how exciting. Like, the old us, or in the inverted earth playground, that's unnerving, right? Because the mind wants to have everything planned out. The ego wants to have everything planned out. Your true spiritual essence doesn't need it. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what comes next. Like, there's an excitement and a curiosity around the unknown, but it's just the mind, the mental construct, that distorts our true expression, that makes it feel uncomfortable. And there's a little bit of butterflies perhaps, but yeah, you have a knowing within you that it is really, something is coming that you're going to love. And I know you guys can feel that. I would love to know, like, do you feel that? Thanks for sharing, Joey. I love that. It's such a perfect way to explain it. That is something that's a complete mystery. No doubt. I'm in the same boat, brother. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to look back a few years prior. So there are historical themes with this eclipse that we're revisiting. Things that you were probably experiencing something very similar, because it was the same energy that had been created during 2016 to 2017. It was like from March 2016. This is what the astrologers will tell us. There's a point in time between March 2016 and February 2017. So I'm going to ask you to look back at your life then. What was happening? And you're going to notice themes of rapid and very dramatic change. For me, that was when I officially, finally said, I'm done with my marketing career. And I finally, after more than 2 decades, finally went full steam into studying nutrition. Nutrition and fitness had been like such a big part of my life, my entire life. And I was always curious about, studying nutrition in some way. So I decided I was going to do it without making it like, oh, I want to make it part of, I want to become a practitioner in that field. I was doing it for me. I was doing it for my family at the time. And I was like, I want to do this. And so the space was created for me to be able to do that. And so that was life changing, total trajectory changing, going from being like corporate marketing to studying nutrition. But specifically, it was living food nutrition and lifestyle medicine. So kind of like a rarefied, purified version of nutrition, very much narrow, high bandwidth. Very, very interesting. But that was like, and it sparked a rapid acceleration in my own consciousness at that time. So it was a game changer, total game changer. Life after that was never the same. In fact, so many things happened afterwards in my own spiritual journey that were game changing, completely elevating. So this is the same energy. This is the same kind of setup. And can you guys feel that? Yeah, we're going a little past the hour, but I think this is worth it. We're covering some really good stuff. So this also is a period of revisiting or reviving old core passions. So for me at that time, it was about nutrition, fitness, vitality. Like I said, I felt them my whole life. What is it for you? What are you noticing? Right now, actually, what are you preparing to transition into? This will be a clue for you. Just look, what are you preparing to transition into? Or what does it feel like? And if you don't know, you don't have to figure it out, because if you just continue to allow and accept that you don't know and it's okay, and you're just going to continue to move forward, letting go of things that just don't feel like they are the best fit for you, everything just unfolds and will reveal itself to you in perfect time. But for me right now, what's very interesting is prior to the whole nutrition exploration, one of the things that was and still is such a passion for me is renovations and construction and interior design. I have a whole background in that, real estate investing and construction and building and all of that stuff that I haven't had an opportunity to explore for so long. I actually started, before I got into marketing, I actually went down the path of studying interior design. But I changed paths because I loved it so much. I said, I could never do this for somebody else because I would want to do it as I see the vision of it. I wouldn't want to compromise my vision to please somebody else. So I thought, okay, I won't do that. I'll keep that for me. And I will go down the path of marketing, which was very, very supportive given the work that I do now, because it gives me a bit of an edge in some ways. It's very helpful without getting into it. So what are you feeling this revival of? For me, our move into this next home is the most perfect opportunity for me to actually revisit that passion, because there are parts of it that require renovation, not renovation really, but new construction. So they require building. They require me to step into my love of interior design and envisioning the finished product, and then being able to select and create those things and work with contractors and masters in their field to do that. So it's really exciting. So I couldn't have handpicked this better for myself. And my partner, for his own reasons, the same thing, right? So what is unfolding for you that is allowing you to revive passions that you perhaps have not even thought about or been able to really fully explore for a long time? I would love to know. Joey, what do you got here? I don't like being seen. I feel like I'm supposed to step out of the shadows and be seen and speak my truth. Amen. Which I'm really struggling with. Oh, do I hear you? Oh, do I hear you? Joey, this is great. So I'll share with you briefly my own journey. It was really interesting. And it's just the programs that we happen to be playing with at any given time. And sometimes the programs show up later in life. So for you, I'm hearing, right, that you're struggling with stepping forward. Amazing. Amazing. Embrace the struggle. I grew up never really being shy or afraid to speak or be seen, except in certain areas that involved cameras when I was a kid, because my dad took a lot of pictures and I felt so uncomfortable at the end of the day because it was just like all the time, like, oh my God, come on. So I started to get a bit uncomfortable. But it showed up later in life as soon as I started on this second life, right? The spiritual path for me, where I had things I felt so called to speak and share about. All of the sudden, I was paralyzed. I could not stand the idea of actually like doing what I'm doing now. No way. No way. I would rather probably roll off a cliff. That's how bad it was. It was so bad. So what did I do? I did the best I could, but it was actually peeling off layers and layers and layers of programming by one thing or the other, that eventually one day I got in front I had an inspiration to share something, and I just went, oh, I think I'll just do a video on that. And for the first time in my life in that period, there was no resistance. So keep doing whatever work it is you're doing. And the bottom line is, as we eliminate programming by whether it's certain circumstance or you're using some tool, you're doing some kind of transformative, clearing meditation, whatever. If you are actually, or just simply choosing differently in your life and just like kind of like pushing up against that uncomfortability and pushing through sometimes, whatever the combination of things is, as you start to dismantle the ego structure and those programs start being dissolved. We're in Pisces, right? It's about dissolving. And Pluto endings, you will probably one day just wake up and go, oh, wow, okay, I actually feel like I could do this. And then it will be one step and one step and one step. Now, everyone's journey is different, but I just want to tell you, that's amazing. I'm delighted to hear that you're feeling the call and it's uncomfortable, because boy, is it going to be exciting to be on the other side and saying, holy smokes, you wouldn't believe how uncomfortable I used to be. And look at me now. Keep us posted on your journey, Joey. Please do. That is super exciting. I love hearing when anyone's in a place of knowing that you're coming up against resistance and you have the awareness about it and you're willing to talk about it. Not that you have to tell a sob story, but just that you're willing to say, hey, this is what I'm feeling and this is what I want, and I'm feeling the resistance, because that means you're about to break through. So I'm excited for you, Joey. Very, very exciting. We go. Okay. It says my mic was unplugged. I think that's just my computer. Hopefully this stays and we are going to stay on track. But basically, guys, the theme is refinement. Taking with us only the things we love into this next life. I was joking and I was saying to my partner, it's about literally Marie Kondoing your entire life. Only what you love comes with you. So if you think about it, this is what I'm laughing, and I'm not, honestly, don't feel bad about it at all. I'm excited. We're both really excited at the idea of going from this space that has not a tremendous amount of storage, but a whole lot more than where we're going. Because that means that we can only take the things we absolutely love. Could we put them all in storage? Of course. But it's more fun, at least for me, to imagine like, okay, we could let go of so many things. And then what does that do? That creates opening for more things that are more and better, right? So basically, if you take the advice of the beautiful, brilliant Marie Kondo, which is, only the things you love, then you thank and love the things that aren't coming with you and you let them go. Whether that's people, whether that's patterns of being, whether that's situations, old careers, old places of living, old cars, technology, stuff, it doesn't matter. Just thank it and love it because all of it has consciousness, including your computer. Love it and then let it go, whatever that thing may be. This is the beginning of what we're going to be experiencing in 2025, right? But the preview starts now. And creating heaven on earth, we have to use the building blocks that are the right fit. The building blocks we choose matter. That's where the rarefication comes in. So choose the things you love. What are the things you love? The things that are in most resonance with not just where you are now, but where you're going. I don't know who it was that shared it with me, but it was it might have been even Marie Kondo. The idea of the photos that you keep on your wall. I'm not there yet, but I love the idea of, instead of having photos of your past, why not have photos of your future, of where you're going, the things you want, and not just words, but like putting it into image, right? We're creating heaven on earth, and this is how we're doing it, by seeing what we want, seeing what feels most resonant to you. And we are literally ending and beginning a brand new 7-year cycle. There is a 7-year cycle that we are going through as human beings on this journey. And every 7 years, there is a major turning point. So we're at the pivot point right now of this next one. We're moving from a place we love, where we're feeling totally comfortable and familiar, most likely in many cases, or you're just done with it. It's either or. And we're moving into, regardless of where you're coming from, you're moving into the unfamiliar. But also the wonderful, the potentially more great than what you have now. But it is a totally new canvas, right? And that can feel a bit intimidating, and that's okay. It's forcing us to get out of our comfort zone, but you can't also not do it. You guys feel that? Like, it's impossible to not do it. My partner said it perfectly. He goes, I can't imagine, like, going forward in this direction is a little unnerving because of all of the things that come with it. But he goes, what's worse is imagining not doing it. So you're kind of left in a position where it's like you could say no, but in saying no, it almost feels like a part of you is dying. And that's what this time is. It's really about bringing that feeling in strongly so that you know, like, okay, I just can't not move forward. And the mind will say, yeah, but you don't even know what to expect. How are you going to afford it? How are you going to have the time? How are you going to, whatever it is, have the strength? How are you? And you just say, I don't know. And I can't wait to find out. But what I do know is that taking steps in that direction feels a whole lot better than not. So this is the pivot point we're on right now. Do you guys resonate with that? I really would love to hear. Oh, Joey's got a few things to share here. Yeah, that's exactly the heart of what I'm feeling. Oh, I'm glad that resonates, brother. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. He says, staying where I am isn't an option. Moving forward is a must, no matter how uncomfortable. Yeah. But I'm assuming, too, that you guys can agree, like, moving forward, even though it feels uncomfortable, it has never felt more comfortable to go into the uncomfortable. Can you guys relate to that? That's literally what we're being served right now. And given is this supportive kind of like, don't worry. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's not going to feel that bad as long as you just keep moving. Just keep moving and have faith and know that the direction you're being pulled into, even if it looks extremely radical and like, how could you ever do it? That it's going to feel good once you get there, that you're going to actually resonate and go, oh my God. And the funny thing, I'll tell you from our side, my mind when we're away from our new place kind of goes, how exactly are we going to do that? What? Are we sure? But then the moment I get there, I'm like, oh my God, can we just move here tomorrow? It's a funny game. Just play with your mind. Yeah. Tammy says, yes, the unknown for me has excitement with it more than fear. Yes. Good for you. Good for you. And thank you for sharing that, Tammy, because this is such an important piece. Be willing to notice the difference in the degree of uncomfortability as you imagine one choice point or the other, and how uncomfortable, how much fear, what kind of fear, right? Yeah, it's a fun place to be. It's kind of like discerning butterflies of excitement and fear and nervousness. That's more on the anxiety side. It's a very fine line. And often they're intermingled. Same thing happens just before you jump out of a plane, and then you go for that wicked ride all the way down. Not that I've done that, but so I hear. All right. There we go. Sorry. This brings us to the end of today's update. I've been just delighted to share this with you today and to hear from you guys, your experience as we are going through this together. Thank you for sharing your feedback. Thank you for watching in the replay, or if you're here. All is good, and your contributions are amazing. And I'm so excited to hear where we're going next and to hear what your experience has been like. So please do leave a comment below. And any questions, feel free to fire those off as well. I love getting questions and being able to answer them. And Joey shares, much appreciated. Thanks for being. Oh, yeah, we are teaching each other, brother. Thank you for all that you contribute and for what you're teaching us as you do. Thank you. And that goes for all of you here. As you share, you are making a big difference. Thank you, brother. And thank you, Tammy, for being here. And to anyone else that feels like sharing, we are all eager to hear what you have to say, because we're a journey we are sharing. All right, as my Mac literally wants me to shut down, I bid you a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for being on this journey with us and sending you so much love. Bye for now.